Sir, I do not speak sushi.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What is your question?
Do you know the word weeaboo?
Yeah, yes I do.
No,
yeah, I do.
Stop,
We just don't speak
stop.
of it here. Calling someone a weeaboo is very disrespectful nowadays, because they can't handle it. They don't have the balls to take a joke.
I
You
would
gotta sit
like to
down for this
know
one.
the definition of weeaboo.
A weeaboo, someone who's obsessed with anime, and they have
Someone who wants to
anime
speak
body
Japanese but
pillows.
can never really put Japanese.
Yeah.
Tashiwa.
I can give a fake.
No, it's someone who's like
I'm looking up
obsessed with anime.
Isn't that also an otaku in some way? So
Yeah,
they
Otakus are better than weebs.
A weeaboo is essentially an otaku that's not from Japan. So someone who dedicates their life
You have to do that
to
with a lot of people.
anime and manga,
Avatars.
but you know they're American or
public
European,
avatar.
and
So-
they're essentially in love with the culture. That
Is it like otaku, but since someone is not Japanese, you can call them...
yeah, pretty much.
I have a friend right.
I was a huge weeaboo back in the day, but I'm not so much anymore.
Are you guys talking about like the definition of weeaboo?
Yes,
Because I've got a perfect thing for that.
Alright.
It's someone basically that's way too absorbed, yet simultaneously not absorbed with Asian culture, more specifically Japanese culture. Have you ever heard of a weeaboo? That's like somebody from another place being very obsessed with Western culture. That's an older term, weeaboo. So I think it was built off of that. And just yeah, that's what I've heard. Anyways, I might be dumb as hell. I might be.
Do you like weeaboo people?
They're not annoying, then it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so if someone likes
Why the hell do you have
Japanese
a
culture,
fucking
such
desert
as,
eagle?
let's say, history or Japanese food, can you call them weeaboo?
No, you can like that stuff without being. It's when you take it too far.
You can like
It's like
that,
when you-
doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I love Japanese history. It's cool as hell, but that doesn't make me somebody who tries to be Japanese. Like, oh, only they will understand me while they're dressed up like really f***ing stupid in a hentai shirt or something.
Is otaku, is that like when someone likes anime too much?
Yeah, so when someone likes anime so much that they have merch and everything, but they don't want to actually get into it. That
And then a weeaboo is like someone that actually like tries to take like the Japanese culture.
I mean, I don't know if you can call me a weeb. I just want to go to Japan because it's an interesting thing to me. I kind of wish I was born Japanese because I hate being American.
No, not in like in IRL. I think there's a difference between liking anime a lot, or taking someone's culture and trying to like being obsessed with someone's culture. In my opinion, I don't know.
I'm studying Japanese in college.
Oh, that's nice. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do
What's
you
up?
know the word weeaboo?
Yeah. I kind of think about it in a sense of like people who just have like an obsession with Japanese culture and they kind of make it look bad in the way they act. I'm not really that type of person. I'm just really into the culture. If I'm being honest, I like the food, I like the people, the traditions, and I like the language and the music. But you know, there's some people who are just fucking degenerates. They just ruin it.
There's weeaboos, and then there's like people who just like Japanese culture. I know that for a fact. Japanese culture is pretty dope, not gonna lie.
There's people who are like, oh yeah, I watch anime occasionally, and then there's people who are like, yeah, my body pillow stands up on its own at this point.
So, what are the things that they do?
They like to pick waifus, and they like to think that fictional characters are real. They only think that Japan is only good for like anime and like manga.
The way I like to think of it is that basically like a neat.
Yeah, if you ask somebody like how many animes they've watched, they usually can list every single one they've watched, and like they're proud of it.
Don't get me wrong, I started liking Japanese culture through anime. Don't get me wrong, anime is cool.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but then, you know, once I started realizing that certain characters were doing certain things in the anime, I was like, why do they do that? And so I looked it up, and, you know, it's actually part of Japanese culture that they do this certain things in the anime. And that just got me interested, and I started watching more anime, and then I started doing more research on like certain traditions and all this shit, and it was just like very interesting. I did like a completely different turn in my career. Like I wanted to become a business major. I wanted to be finance, right? Going work at a company, blah blah blah. And then I just switched complete 180 to Japanese studies. I started going into like Japanese language. So I started learning the language. I started learning more about the history and all this shit and whatnot. And it's fun. I like it, you know. Otaku is supposed to be someone who has an obsession with a certain activity. Say, for example, you like to fish, right? If you like fishing, you could say that, oh, he's an otaku for fishing. You know, like he really likes to fish.
Exactly.
But yeah, but over here in America, people think that otaku means the same thing as weeaboo, but it's not really the same thing.
Okay.
You know?
I feel like there's a slight difference in the sense that I feel like an otaku directly relates to someone who spends like all day just obsessed watching anime, whereas, and that's like the only thing about it is like just the anime, whereas a weeaboo is like the anime, but also maybe they're like purchasing a bunch of like katanas and stuff like that.
I'm from Germany, so basically here the weeaboo is not that overhyped, I think. Literally don't say, hey, I'm a weeaboo. Or not that I know someone.
I don't feel like most people would call themselves, who are weeaboos, would call themselves weeaboos. They would probably call themselves otakus. Because weeaboo kind of has a, it's not, you know, it's not a compliment.
There's another word. It's like otaku, but hikikomori. This is probably the next level.
Isn't Japanese, but very obsessed with Japanese culture to the point where it's unhealthy.
Do you think there's a difference between otaku and weeaboo?
Otaku, we don't usually call Americans that because it usually has to be Japanese.
Do you know the word weeaboo?
Yes.
What does it mean for you?
There's a huge difference between somebody who appreciates the like general culture of Japan, and then there's the weeaboo. You know, the weeaboo is all about, you know, anime this, anime that. They're like obsessed with that like art style, and they kind of make that their whole passion about the country. They just kind of associate the country more with that than actually appreciating the culture and like the people. Like, you know, they'll like go crazy if they see a Japanese person in this game. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Oh, I see. Do you think they are different from otakus?
Ooh. I want to say yes, but at the same time I want to say no, because they definitely seem to almost intake like that same interest in like that kind of culture, like the anime culture and the how do I say it, like the pop culture or whatever. They kind of like take it in like the same way. I feel like weeaboos, though, they kind of take it more, they go more crazy about it than I would say otakus are. But I've never seen or met an otaku. I can't really speak up for them mostly. But for the weeaboos, yeah, I could say like they're more infatuated with that culture. I could be wrong though.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
If you want to ask, like, he's Japanese, I believe, but he speaks very good English as well. So.
Weeaboo. わかんない。知らない。Weeaboo 知らない。
Weeaboo って言葉を聞いたことない。
Weeaboo ならわかるけど、なんかあれでしょ？なんか日本かぶれの外国人みたいな。
Weeb とオタクの違いってわかりますか？
オタクは日本のなんかアニメとかそういうのが漫画とか好きな人なのかな？英語だと。Weeb はなんか日本オタクみたい。
Is this for a YouTube video?
Oh yeah.
It is.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.